Alright, so what I was apparently saying to myself, this down here needs to be cleaned up. This is a piece I did about 3-4 months ago. It was turned wet. I left the tenon on for it to dry. Obviously I knew it was going to crack, but it cracked where, in one spot where I particularly didn't really want it to crack, which was, there's a major crack down the base here, and that's actually, that's put the tenon out of whack. So a good thing anyway, because I didn't really want to do anything down this end. There's a couple of things here where I can just touch up with a bit of polish, but there's a tool mark that I've got to get out down here. And originally I was going to put coloured resin in here, in these little dots here, but I think I'll just take them out with the tool, obviously, not the sandpaper. But I'm just going to have a go with the sandpaper and see if I can get rid of this this tool mark that's running around the edge here. It's mainly just the scratches from the 80 grit now. How you going, Dan? How are you? Sold any more push bikes lately? Yeah, you can't complain with that for a deal. I paid 65 for the one that I'm running this on from the options here. I'm pretty sure you can download Windows 10 for free, and then go and buy a key off of eBay for about $7 or $8, maybe even less in your coin. You download it from Microsoft's website too, the Windows 10, by the way. How you going?
Yeah, how are you doing?
Yeah, all right.
You get any sleep?
No.
These young people, they don't need as much.
Well, I think Robbo might be sleeping right now, though. He said he was going to get some sleep before his demo, and he didn't. So I'd say he'd be snoozing now. So I turned this wet a couple of months ago. I left the tenon on it deliberately so that I could put it back in the truck. It got a rather large crack down near the tenon, and it disfigured the tenon shape. So I didn't have any intention of doing anything down here other than giving it a little bit of polish. Down this end, I had to get out a couple of tool marks. I've got them out, so I'm just reducing the scratches now on the edge.
Now, I understand that's a gum tree, right?
Yeah.
People chew the leaves of the gum tree?
I'm not sure. The Aboriginals might. When they're out in the bush, I suppose. I'm not sure, but this is the same wood that I made that the hollow form with the neck on it.
Right, I know. It's beautiful wood. But today I was in talking with a friend of mine online, and he sent me a bunch of Australian music because it's different from one of your leading writers, supposedly. He sings at clubs all over the country. We would call it a nightclub or a bar entertainer. But
Yeah.
it was interesting because I already had probably a dozen that I had recorded back in 2000 when I was there.
I don't mean to be rude with this comment, but I think the music that I listen to and the music that you listen to might be a slight generation gap.
Oh, yes. Well, we have to do that. Otherwise, a group of people wouldn't make any money.
Yeah.
I just enjoy regional musics and stuff like that you just don't hear here. It's not something that's played.
Yep.
Well, I must say, my curious life. That's interesting. A fellow Michigander. Did you attend any of the wood turning programs today in Michigan, whether it was Detroit or Western Michigan?
Who?
Online.
Did I?
I'm just wondering, I was asking if he did. My vicarious life.
Oh no, he doesn't turn. I don't think he does anyway. Um, he builds push bikes and sells them.
Oh, here in Michigan.
Yeah, I think so. Driveway car park. Yeah, he's a woodworking groupie.
Oh, that's one way to learn.
Yep.
What part of Michigan are you from? Are you a Yooper or a Troll? Never heard of a Troll. Are you familiar then with St. Ignace? Well, as long as I have been alive, 80 some, almost 80 years, well, 75, 76 years here in a couple of days. Oh, Rainier College region. Yeah, when the bridge was built to go to the Upper Peninsula, people then kind of divided themselves. And several very popular woodworkers, one here in Michigan that did a lot of work in the Upper Peninsula and moved down to the Lower Peninsula, and a couple of well-known turners that live in the Lower Peninsula. We enjoy teasing them. The term Yooper or Troll is, if you're a Yooper, means you're from the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. And if you're a Troll, that means that you live under the bridge, Mackinac Bridge, that goes between the Upper and Lower Peninsula. So a Yooper lives in the Upper Peninsula and a Troll lives in the rest of the state. Well, Jay, have you come up with some idea? Is that going to be a half pint or a pint? Or you wouldn't call them pints. What would you predict that would handle for how much liquid?
They have a schooner here. No, I've got no idea, to be honest. It's not going to hold nothing because it's got cracks in it.
Well, that don't matter. It's artistic.
Yeah. Not sure.
Because if you were going to use it for drinking, you'd be best just to use a good hard resin or food safe epoxy and line the inside.
Yeah. Yeah, it would have been nice to be able to drink out of it, but not with these giant cracks.
Well, yeah, but if you'd line the inside with something, then you could go out and use it for drinking. And if people got in your way, you have a club.
2 in 1, eh?
And the bottom looks heavy enough as it won't tip over easy, because everyone hates having a pint tip over on them, especially after 8 or 9 of them. And you keep telling everybody, but I'm not drunk. They just fall over by themselves.
Sure. Right.
The little green men do it.
If I fall over and my beer doesn't, that means I'm still not drunk enough, you see?
What type of beer do you like?
A worldwide beer, Guinness. But there's a brewer here in South Australia called Little Creatures that I like to drink.
It's a light beer or a dark beer?
Lager.
Oh, good. That's to me the only beer.
Yeah. I don't drink very often, but I've been getting more into honey liqueurs lately.
Oh, now you're becoming an internationally known artist. You're going hoity-toity.
Yeah.
With liqueur.
Yeah. I don't know. For some reason, I just like the honey flavor. There's one particular drink called a Dubliner. It's Irish, obviously.
Yeah, check out the chat. They defined your beer.
How you going, Louie?
Is he right?
Better not let Amber, my wife, see that. Louis, woodworking 227's just come in. You might be right, Dan. But if my wife sees that, she'll come down on you like a shower of shit.
I take it he's a local?
Louis?
Yeah.
He's a local more to you than to me. He lives in New Jersey, pretty sure.
Wow, okay, yeah. I used to live in Vineland, New Jersey for about 5 years.
Yeah.
New Jersey. It's interesting how southern New Jersey has an accent different than northern. There's an interesting piece of New Jersey history that, because I was doing TV production there for Austin Miles. In Vineland, we had a studio, and he was a regular on the PTL TV network. And something I found out that Vineland, New Jersey, which is a unique name, but it's a sense that Vineland itself, and it's spelled Vine, because they used to grow tomatoes back in the days when the Puritans felt that tomatoes were sinful to eat, that a tomato would kill you.
I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah, 'cause we did a neat special about on the Vineland City Hall was the first place that people sat and tried to break the rules and about not growing them and ate a bushel of them, and nobody died.
Bloody whackers, aren't they, sometimes?
Well, I did know a lot about the stuff we did it. I had a good friend of mine was the producer of the segment. It was a half-hour piece on PTL network, and celebrating some day about the Vineland and the people that, but why they thought it was poisonous, I'm not sure, because there were several stories about it being poisonous.
Did you see what Louis put in the chat, Bob?
Yes. He's right. Yeah. The Southern Jersey, of course, is a Philly. Oh, yes, about the lead paint. This has been a long time ago. Yes, I remember that. Because they had some high school chemist student on the show we had to send a crew to the local high school, and the high school teacher had one of his students demonstrate the acid from the tomato.
Oh, look out, you're in trouble now. How you going?
Howdy.
Well, I'll tell you, that was one of the best demos I have seen, and something I found by watching the people who you were demonstrating to. I was scrolling through them, and everybody was really fixed and watching. Those that, and you can't tell about people had cameras off, but they stayed on. One of the biggest crowds we've had that have stayed through a demonstration anywhere near the length. It was fantastic.
Thank you.
You outdid yourself. Thank you very much.
There's a couple of other things. As I said to Jay, that's normally a 4-hour club demonstration. I had to severely price it down. G'day, Mike. Woodworking 2220.
And that's Louis, Robbo.
Oh, g'day, Louis.
How you going, Mike? You one of the tree people today, are you?
And Dan's in as well.
It shows how popular you are, because when you popped in, other people followed you.
Yeah.
Probably just checking to make sure I'm still alive.
It's like you're getting to be a techno nerd.
No. Now the camera's gone funny. What's going on?
It's gone funny, but I don't hear him laughing.
No. Doing all sorts of weird, strange things. No, I figured out what happened in the end.
What?
Well, part of Zoom is the main body of the thing, and then there's another separate bit, and I couldn't move it all across.
Yep.
But anyway, I got it.
Oh, because when it starts the meeting, it comes up as another window.
Yeah, that's right. So
Yep.
I had to work out how to get it all across at the one time onto the other monitor.
Yep.
And Mike said he was lurking before, but my hands were covered in grease and rust. Well, you want to keep them lubricated a little bit, and then you won't get rust on them.
Ah, shit. Yeah. Where'd you bugger off to real quick, Robbo? Did you go and have a snooze?
No, as a matter of fact, I went to the hospital.
Oh, what for?
I had a few chest pains doing the demonstration.
Why don't you bloody stop?
No. I knew it was all right, but similar to what I had 12 months ago. And you know they don't give a warranty on their bloody stents? The shits.
So you could be thrashed out in 5 minutes and you wouldn't know it.
Yeah.
So they're going to do another one?
No, they had me hooked up to all the ECGs and everything and said we can't find anything wrong. So, and then I remembered that I had a bit of a fall last week. I sprained my ankle and everything. And he said, oh, that might be it. But anyway, I've got to go and see the heart specialist during the week. I'll run some more tests.
He's stubborn, Dr. Bob.
I think that comes with our ages.
Yeah, I think it does to a certain extent.
Yeah. Oh, no. I reckon this centre would be alright to use.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Where's the pin gone out of it?
Oh, it's you're not going to like where I got this from, Robbo, alright?
It's out of a pen turning thing. I know what it's out of.
Yeah. So it's never had a thing in there.
Well, why not use the other one?
Because it's on my bench somewhere and I can't see it. That's basically about it.
Just get yourself a 4x2 and drill some holes in them, spaced enough to put all that stuff in one of a hole. Then you always get in the habit of putting it back.
It's my bench and stuff is still a shambles from when I had to rearrange it for the new lathe. I just stuffed everything in the corner and sort of deal with it later, you know.
Well, get yourself a noggin of some good beer and come out with some music you enjoy and blare it and rearrange your shop.
Oh, don't worry, I'll blare music. No, it's not here.
What type of music are you into?
A bit of everything. I'm listening to 21 Pilots at the moment. This American band. It's not bad music. It's my old saying used to be real music isn't played on the radio, but I listen to radio stuff these days. But at least you can understand the lyrics and stuff, and it's not going do 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 do. So I'm just currently on the floor looking for the center, just in case it fell in some shadings.
I thought you were worshiping the lathe.
Yeah. Hare Krishna. Found it.
Have you nicknamed the lathe yet?
Nah. Dusty bastard. It likes collecting dust. Look at it. It's like I've got a vacuum system and it's connected to the headstock or something.
Yeah.
I clean it every day. That's just from sanding this down.
Do you have? You imagine you do have an earth ground
No.
Yeah.
in your electrical.
Yeah.
Is your lathe fastened to the earth ground?
Only via the electrical supply.
Okay. Because that'll cut down a lot of static electricity in some cases. In other cases, it makes it worse.
Yeah.
But I know I've got my lathe is fastened to the mechanical ground, back to the panel, which with us, it's actually the same as the neutral, because they bond together at our panel with a electrical ground with a ground rod or fastened to a water pipe.
Well, that's the way ours work too. Like,
yeah, I have a wire that I've actually drilled and tapped the leg of the lathe, and I've got a 12 gauge wire itself that goes to a ground rod just outside my shop.
no, ours flows back through the 3-core electrical system. I had to smile at Dennis this morning when he said that he couldn't hold that natural edge bowl and he came up with that thing to hold it. I nearly said, yeah, I've been doing that for nearly 50 years.
Haven't you realized that nothing is really new, Robo? It's just a different twist to it.
Yeah, of course.
I have learned that over my whole life, that people say, look what I invented, look what I did. And yeah.
Nothing new under the sun.
It's like our government is going to release all the files it's had on UFOs, because so much of it has become public and leaked out.
Getting a slight echo loop.
The cover-ups that went with it, they've made TV series over it, but they call the series as fictional, but leave you the hint they might not be. And it's usually based on things that have been, on TV or in the news.
That's got a bit of wobbleosity by the look of it. Now, you sure you're getting the high point there?
Doesn't really seem to be too much of one.
Well, it doesn't really matter. You're only taking the tannin off, so
Yeah. That noise is the non-slip mat slipping.
yeah.
If I don't have that noise going, then this thing turns independently. So what's for lunch today?
So,
What's for lunch today?
surprise.
I didn't realise you had food in your gob either.
No. Julie's gone into Cranbourne to get some scripts and stuff filled, so
Oh, yeah.
lunch is going to be late, so I'm having a snack.
So strawberry cream biscuits and
No,
old gold chocolate for lunch, eh?
have a look at this screen.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All the pepperoni they can't sell.
Yeah, that's probably right.
Yeah, the 14-year-old here, when he was, probably 3, 4, he got into sliced salami like that. It was out on a buffet where the family had with some friends over, and he could just barely reach it, and he'd reach up and grab it. And ever since, he has been addicted to salami.
Getting a bit of an echo behind you there, Bob. For some reason.
Huh, I don't know where it'd be from. The only thing in the background running is the dishwasher.
Oh, well.
That should stop anything.
Arguably well now. Yeah, that's better.
Huh. Yeah, it's been busy for me online because I had in the morning our Grand Rapids club, which I'm a member of, and their online program. And then as soon as that's over, you get about 20-minute time break for a rest break, and then back at it again
Oh, just in
with
time to make
our club.
just in time to make a cup of coffee.
Well, when I get up in the morning, I already have our coffee pot ready to be turned on. I've already done that. It's full and coffee's in it. And the first thing I do as I get out of bed is swing by the kitchen, turn it on, then go hit the little boy's room, and then make sure that Riley has his food and water. It's supposed to be the kids do it, but somehow they forget. The only
Man, that's
problem is now school is closed. I'm still waking up at that time, and I can't help it.
yeah, that bowl gouge has just about had it, Jay.
I've seen hand-me-down tools, but that takes the cake. Haven't seen one that tightly ground.
I think that was a new one when he bought it, actually. We used to go through 4 roughing gouges and 2.5 skew chisels and generally a half-inch spindle gouge every year.
At max, how many turners did you have working for you?
I never had any actual turners, but at one stage I had three people working for me, 2 girls and a boy, or 2 women and a man, and they'd rough down and then do the finished sand and the packing and everything.
Then how did you acquire so many lathes? Just the different style of what you were doing on the lathes? Or
No,
just too lazy to reconfigure a lathe for the next job?
well, that was part of it. I needed, on one particular job, I actually needed 3 lathes to save time because there were so many steps in doing them. But I bought 4 workshops over the last 30 years. Like complete workshops with saws and everything else, and I've sold all them off and just kept the lathes. But I just can't bear to see old machinery being thrown away.
Amen.
Not when it's still functional anyway. Just because it hasn't got variable speed or the bells and whistles. I've only got 2 lathes in my place with a variable speed. One's my demo lathe that I normally take away with me. And the other one, was the one I was working on today. is. That's very philosophical. There,
Yeah, I'm
Mike.
shocked. He's really defined the term propaganda.
You didn't write Churchill's speeches, did you? Just get a straight edge across the bottom of that jar. It looks like it's slightly not concave enough yet. I could be wrong. Could be just the camera angle, but
Yeah.
like I said, no, but I had considered why UFOs and aliens were all of a sudden real.
All I know is I had a detail in Idaho back in 64, 66, where they took 2 buses of us from Mountain Home, swore us to secrecy 4 times from different agencies, issued us new uniforms to wear, pants and tops, jackets, and hats. No rank, no name, just the number on them. You were number 22 or number 41. And we were sent to clean up an aircraft accident. And it was interesting. It was in the Idaho mountains. They took this mammoth crane up there to take a piece of metal that was wedged in some trees and on the ground. And when they got the metal down and they were trying to hook into it to lift it, because there was no lifting points, so they had to put some in, drill holes and put anchors in so they could lift it. They later found that once they got it out of the trees, and it was probably 40 foot, they had it laying on the ground and they were going to put it up on a truck bed and try to see if they couldn't get it in pieces to go up in the truck bed. And a couple of smart aleck people like myself decided, well, maybe it'll fold in half and lay on the bed. And that's what you could do. It was so flexible. We were told it was an experimental aircraft from Area 57, and that's sworn to secrecy over it. But I'll tell you, I just couldn't believe it. That we didn't see any beings or anything, as it was just smattered all over the mountainside in a valley.
I think you would have to be very naive to believe that we're the only things around.
Oh, yes.
There's things out there they haven't even seen yet. There's got to be other solar
But we have a
systems.
lot of stuff that, yeah, we have stuff that swim in the water that are intelligent, and we know it. There's international proof of multiple countries finding stuff that'll track ships and submarines and be able to make a 90-degree turn in the water.
Yeah. that's true, Mike, I must admit. But who knows, like, we've only got to look at just our lifetimes. And I don't know how old you are, Mike, but I gather that you're up near us somewhere in age. And you consider the technological advances they've made in the last 10 years, they're almost quadrupling every bloody year. So it'd be silly not to think that perhaps there's more advanced people than us, that maybe they have invented time travel or found a way to do it. Molecular restructuring.
Or have they been here and, as a culture, and we just don't know about it?
Well, that's true. Probably had one look and thought, God, this is going to be bad. We better get out of here.
Well, you could always say, they're here for a reason. That's why rock and roll was invented, to appease them. Remember when rock started, and I know my mother and dad thought that was horrible music because it was making women just wiggle parts of their body that should never be wiggled in public, except in your bedroom. And what was out? Do you remember the song, the one-eyed, one-horned, flying purple people eater?
Yeah. You're like an English lit teacher, Bob. Read this story and tell us what he is, and you find out that he's alluding to being a raving, homophobic, black-hating mongrel or something like that. And I just had to do a thing on, I forget which one it was now, and I wrote on the exam paper. Did you ever stop to think that maybe he needed to make a quick buck, so he just scribbled this out?
Yeah.
That went over like a lead balloon.
Well, look, our parents, Robo, had the original Flash Gordon in the 30s. And Buck Rogers in the 30s and 20s.
Yeah, in the realms of imagination, we've got it for real now.
Yeah.
Like
But there's a lot of phenomena that really is intriguing that people have been told they couldn't talk about, and now that people are more freely, because I know we have a lake here in Michigan that always was called, it's in the UP, it was called bottomless because there wasn't a sensing system that could ever sense the bottom of it. And they have found some, I don't know, we call them sea creatures, but it's not. They're in their lake that when they can't come to the surface unless they're dead. And if they get there, and because they have to have the high pressure of being that deep, and they have them in the ocean that you can't bring up because they would blow up like a balloon.
Like I've said before, if somebody had said to me they're going to make a 5-cylinder diesel engine, I'd have laughed for starters, and a high-speed one at that, and that it's going to switch itself off at the traffic lights and start up again. Geez, I'd have been on the floor in hysterics. Yep. But that's what they're doing. G'day, Effie.
The Effie.
How you going, Effie?
Well,
Hey,
look
mate.
at the great race that happens in Australia, and it's been going on for, oh heavens, since 70s, and that was the uh, electric car, self propelled electric cars
Solar
races,
race.
the solar races, and that's been going on for a long time. And a lot of that technology that was developed around the world by teams of students that really encourage them so their vehicle can win a race. So they spend their own time. They don't have to have research dollars pay a wage, which is nice. They got the brains and they have a budget for hardware. And if it's not enough, they find a way to get it
Yep.
or make it. And I think that's great on both sides. It gives young people that have an idea and a dream the ability to do it, but at the same time, they're exploring new engineering methods.
There's a buttload of government grants they can apply for here to do stuff like that.
Yeah, there is here too. And the big trip to go to Australia, the University of Michigan has had a team down there racing in the self-driving. It wasn't the solar, but they had solar. But at one time, it was New Zealand they went to because of the curved roads they have along the shore in some place. They actually 2 years had teams go there for being able to, and it wasn't self-driving. Well, it was, but they followed a track that was painted on the road, and it was like a long linear 20 mile or 40, 50 mile stretch of road or longer. I forget now. It's been so long ago. It was like a barcode, and they were trying to use it as a standard to see how well it worked for self-driving cars that would follow a barcode. And this is right after barcodes were invented, is the fact that this line, the sensors on the vehicle followed it around curves and everything, so it knew where to go. And if there was an intersection ahead, the barcode, the paint would actually break up into standard. For them, they had a standard barcode standard that you would see if built in the track that they were following, this white line. And the white line was 2.5 inches. I forget, it was all metric, but about that size. But that way it was easy to read. And I knew a couple of students I had that worked in the microcomputer development lab I run. They worked on a team from the University of Michigan to go and be part of that race. But that was the beginning of self-driving cars. And the idea was for trucks.
Yeah, just wait a second, Mike. No worries. And you're a youngie. But there wouldn't be a major warehouse now that doesn't use automatic vehicles that self-drive all over the place, pick stuff out of the shelves and bring it all back to a central point and everything else. Very few people work in the bigger warehouses these days. Rightio, Mike, what's the question? Just bear in mind, never on a first date, mate. Never. G'day, Blair. He says, sorry for not popping in today. I've been to my work 3 times today working on swamp coolers. Over 100 degrees Fahrenheit here. I think I got a bit of heat exhaustion. Yeah, keep the hat on and keep drinking heaps of water.
Oh, yeah. And the hat, make sure it is not a dark color.
Blair, have you heard of You can get it in liquid or powder. It's called Hydrolite. Check it out. I'm telling you that'll fix you up in 5 minutes after drinking it.
Jay, that thing in the headstock isn't opening up the splits in that, is it?
No,
It's all right. It just looked like it was.
no. It's naturally opening that one.
12-inch diameter. Right. Your safest bet is 12-inch diameter and 5-inch wide. Yeah, I'd still laminate them up out of kiln dried timber and turn them that way, glue them all together. But I don't know what your timber prices are like over there. But basically there's you got to take your time in how long it takes to glue them all together, and whether you can machine them yourself or you've got to have somebody machine them. Yeah, bowl orientation, that's the way I do it. If they're being painted, I'd probably go with plywood, actually, exterior plywood. And where your end grain is, put body filler in there, like carbog, to fill in the grain so there's a nice smooth surface. Five inches,
Yeah.
that's an unusual size. Like 5 inches high, it's going to be a bit of a bummer. You'll have to go. I wouldn't go two rows of 2-inch or 45 mil, depending on what the timber's machined down to. I'd go perhaps a heavy 45 on the bottom, and then make it up out of the other ones on the top, so they're even.
Well, I've had to do a couple things like that, and the first question that you might want to think of, if it's a pillar bottom or a pillar top, and if so, what is the plan of anchoring it either into a deck, a porch top, or having it support above? Because I've had a job years ago, I did something similar, and I had to drill and found out they were drilling and putting dowels, hardwood dowels, 1.5 inches in it, because that was how they wanted to center their pillars, because they measured across in this case, it was for a whole porch, and they measured across and they drilled holes, and that's what was supposed to be in there. They were going to use a dowel in the bottom of what I made and a dowel in the same one in to match the deck. That way it kept them in place. That way they could drop a plumb bob from the second story where they started. So
Are they internal or external, Mike? External, no. I wouldn't use MDF on them then. The biggest enemy of MDF is moisture. Even if they are painted, it'll still get into them. Sequoia would probably be all right. Bit hard to get a good finish on it, Sequoia, though, because it's so soft.
You might want to ask if it's just the bottom, whether the bottom of it that's going to be on the stone should be flat or a little concave, because sometimes they want to. I've had a couple where they use a construction adhesive to stick it down to the stone. And to keep it from squeezing out and looking horrible, you do a little concave bottom so they can put the adhesive in there, and it doesn't squeeze out, but it still keeps it in place. Because if you leave it up to the carpenter or the stonesmith to do it, they'll ruin it or botch it up, and you'll get blamed.
Oh, I've never heard of it, Mike, I must admit. And in that case, then, yeah, go for it. I've made quite a lot of internal fittings out of MDF. I actually like turning MDF. It's great fun. You can get great long streamers off it.
But I thought it would be really dusty.
Oh, it is dusty. You've got to have extraction or a good
Good face
rest
mask.
Yeah. G'day, Chris.
How you going, Chris?
Yeah, just laminate them up into a bowl and go for it. And we have Effie in as well, Chris. She's hiding in the background there somewhere.
I'm surprised you're still awake, Robo.
Yeah, if I go to sleep now, I won't sleep tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go, Mike. You got your answer. So, yeah, use the Sequoia MDF. As I said, I've never heard of it out here. But then I must admit I don't follow timber trends much anymore. I'm sort of semi-retired, so there's quite a lot of new timber that's come out in the last few years. Like manufactured timber.
Yeah. Faux trees.
Yeah. Well, somebody told me once that the Japanese are actually growing square trees. Because much easier to move. Oh, no, it could be done like you just put a frame around it and lock them into where they go.
That'd be good tight grain.
They'd have to be bloody strong frames, I've seen trees moving buildings.
But your microphone's your eye, Robbo.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking like a
Right.
ball.
Cyborg.
I'm going to put a red light in the middle of it so
Oh,
that I
yeah.
become a Borg, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
Terminator.
Yeah. I'll be back.
No, you're not allowed to. Sorry.
No.
I know. I know.
Honey. Yeah.
So have you used your new laptop for streaming yet?
No, not yet. Yeah, that's right, Mike. Permanent skew mounted in your arm. They're asking if you went to scratch your back, though. Or worse still, your bum.
The amount of cracks in the bottom of this goblet, I'm surprised it's going to stay together, to be honest.
Yeah. No, funny, I was just thinking about that this morning, actually, Jay, about using the laptop.
Oh yeah. Well, you're going to spend all that money on it and then leave it sitting there doing nothing.
Yeah, well, the problem is that it has to work on Wi-Fi. It can't have an Ethernet cable into it. So I'm just a bit dubious. But when I tested it the other day, the Wi-Fi speed was as fast as what the Ethernet cable is anyway.
Yeah. There's must be put a new modem inside it. New bits and pieces and stuff,
Yeah. Yeah, that could be a bit awkward too, Mike. Of course, it make ripping the paper off easy.
Yes. Oh, seeing you flick your Bic. I had a roommate in college that liked to smoke, but he didn't smoke around. There was three of us that shared an apartment. We each had our own bedroom. And he'd go to smoke in the bathroom. And unfortunately, the joke was he flicked his Bic because they were Bic throwaway lighters. And more often than not, he'd be smoking while he was on the throne and would reach over to put the ashes out in the sink, which he could reach. Except there were several times hot ashes hit the commodity of toilet paper, and we had fires in there, or smoky rolls of paper that were quickly thrown in the shower.
And Dan said that his Wi-Fi is slower than Ethernet too. It generally is. Yeah, I've got a little stand that most of my laptops actually sit on, so that it just lets the air through the bases. No, I must admit I edit all my videos on the main computer on the PC. Get away from that! Get out of here!
Blowing the dust in your beard.
Yeah, have some snow. Oh, you can't see it. Then there you go. That's out of my light. Got perfect little channels in the back of the light to collect dust.
If you're not wearing a dust mask, you're a fool, Jay.
You've got one on.
Good. Your laugh carries well through your mask. The mask turner and a
it's one of those-
Ohio silver.
It's a
That's-
20-cent mask.
That's pre-recorded. Like the applause meters in tape shows, you know. He just hits a button and laughs.
That's it. You got it. Don't tell everyone though, bloody hell. Gotta
Yeah,
have
they're
some
called
sort-
laugh tracks.
That's it.
Me personally, Dan, I use one called AVS for You. The whole suite of them. That thing, it was fairly cheap if I remember rightly.
It's about 50 years old, Dan.
Still works.
I need to be like that.
I hope you get-
I was just warning him that he might have to roll a couple of rocks to tune the video up a bit, you know?
And Chris says he can only edit HD on my computer at work, so I'll go in early and stay late to make videos. I think I'm working really hard. Well, I hope they're paying overtime, but I bet you're on a salaried thing, so that overtime doesn't count.
Imagine if all these workplaces went through all their went through their computers.
Well, I must admit, we used to have brochures and things printed up at Julie's work. It's got to be some advantage to working in big places.
Dusty, man.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, he actually went crazy, Mike, and cleaned up a few things after Bob had been picking on him for so long.
How much do you reckon I should sell this for?
I have no idea.
It's just a clay pot.
Yeah, I
I was going to carve out a couple more and take with me. They don't take very long. 20 minutes or something.
know.
All right. So this is something that I turned this wet originally. That's why I left the tenon on it, and so I could finish the bum. Oh, wrong screen.
Yeah, bloody oath.
You've had your time.
Frightened shit out of me.
You had your time this morning. Bugger off.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, get some colour into it.
Yeah. No, that's looking pretty good colour-wise.
Yeah.
I like the wormholes through things.
Yeah. I'll put some pretend ones down there.
Hmm.
Don't tell anyone though.
Yeah.
There's the bottom. Yeah. Mental note yourself. Don't look at the lead light. Oh. Wowzers. No, I can't see the screen very well anymore. Wait, who's that? Someone's trashing the joint?
Not me.
So where's the first person that says not me? They're the ones that have did it.
No, I've just been sitting there nice and quietly.
You going to get some pictures of your community that you can use as the background yet, Jay? Take your
Yeah,
phone
I have.
out
Look,
and get a few.
can't you see it? It's got lightning and stuff.
They can't be that populated.
Yeah.
What, Adelaide? Yeah, fairly big place.
250,000 people.
Maybe.
Oh, more than that.
This is a peppercorn bowl I did ages ago, but I never put anything on it. I just turned it and threw it into the corner. So just going to give it a bit of an oiling. I put up a Hungry Jack's Whopper for you, Dr. Bob. You wanted local? There you go.
Yeah. Actually, I was wrong. It's only
What?
got 31,280 people in it.
Yeah, not that big.
No. I went to scratch myself and I thought, geez, what the hell's that? I forgot. Put me on screen for a minute.
Oh, you cut your shit on still.
Oh yeah,
I am the Terminator.
yeah.
Good as gold. Good as gold.
No.
Right?
Save them having to do it again next time.
Nice one. Not funny, but all right.
Yeah.
Hmm.
No, well, I reckon we've got a little nurse here called Angelina that's down the local doctor's things. And she's one of the few that can find the vein in my arm first time. And I reckon that she should put a tap in it so the others can just connect onto it, you know?
Yeah, it might work, you know. You might be onto something there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that when I went in the hospital here a month or so ago, and the first thing they did, it was off with the shirt, and they put a tap in my arm, and that stayed there because they kept drawing blood. Oh, probably 24 times during the.
Oh, yeah, when you're in hospital, they do that. They just leave it there.
Oh, do they keep losing the blood sample, so they got to take more?
No.
You'd think one would be enough, huh? Spread it around.
Well, the different tests, like for the diabetes, that they twice a day came and took that at noon, and they woke me up at midnight.
How rude.
They got to the place where the nurse had just come in, lift my hand up, and I'd feel it move, and I'd just roll over and stay asleep. And she'd just draw what she wanted, and then put it back in my hand, back on the bed where she went. You know.
Once she draw on your hand, did she draw a tree?
No, but she put a smiley face on.
I used to like the doctors that gave you jelly beans when you had a bloody injection, you know?
They had jelly beans back then, did they?
Yes, they did.
Ooh, Jay.
You chewing on rocks.
They used to love me coming in because I liked the black ones. Not many people like the black jelly beans, but the black jelly beans were the best of the lot.
The licorice.
I don't know whether they are licorice based actually, but I
Bloody-
quite like them anyway.
Like a black cat.
Yeah, black cat. Black cats were another thing that I used to love. And licorice blocks. Used to love licorice blocks and choo-choo bars. I don't think they're around anymore.
Can they still call it black cat?
Probably not.
Half the people watching this mostly wouldn't even know what a black cat is.
Mm.
At
not
my
very
age, I remember them as a kid.
Yeah, no, I remember them too.
We even had a cartoon that we all used to laugh at. The star of the cartoon was a black cat.
Yeah,
Felix.
Felix. Felix the cat.
Yeah, I loved Felix. He's great.
And Tom Terrific and his Wonder Dog.
The skate birds. Oh,
No,
No,
never
one would
came
know
across
that one. No, you wouldn't. It was
Well,
a
Flash Gordon.
78. It come out that one. Flash Gordon.
Flash-
Nah, bit
Going
before.
Mongo.
And Mike wants to know, Jay, do you have Waratah plants near you, where you are?
I got no idea. To be honest, Mike.
I'd
Why's that?
imagine that they probably would in some of the gardens there.
Yeah. Why is that, Mike? Have you turned some?
No, Waratah's your state flower.
Is it? we most probably eat it then. We're the only
Or
country in
smoke
the
it.
world that we're the only country in the world that eats our coat of arms.
Yeah, well, why not?
We could either that or dry it and roll it and smoke it.
Yeah. Well, not sure, but can you? You're the one telling the story here.
Well, you can smoke kangaroo meat.
Yeah, jerky.
Yeah,
Camel jerky tastes the best, I reckon.
sorry.
Camel jerky tastes nice.
I've never had camel jerky.
You got many camels in the country?
Yeah, bloody thousands of them.
Yeah, they run them up. Too many of them.
Dromedary or standard camel? Or standard, but one or two
No,
humps.
One hump. They when they were building the railway line and getting supplies up to Alice Springs from Adelaide, they brought in a heap of Afghan camel drivers to put all the railway lines and everything through. And of course, when the railway line went through, they just let them go. Alice Springs actually has a camel cup every year, and that's interesting.
Where they ride them.
Yeah, camel races.
Yeah.
And that's why I reckon that the Duke, good old John Wayne, he didn't ride a horse to get bloody bow-legged. He rode a camel. They are the most uncomfortable bloody things to ride.
Yeah, I can't say I ever watched any John Wayne stuff, but
Yeah, I've seen that one, Mike. Mike said, have you seen the video of a camel that gets peed off with its owner and the camel picks him up by his head and throws him? I think that's why they wear turbans, isn't it? To pad their head just in case that happens. And Mike said it was just a really nice flower he found out about. Yeah,
Okay.
they are a very nice flower, actually, the Waratah.
red flower or something, isn't it?
Sorry?
Red flower or something, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Actually, maybe the Waratah isn't your national emblem.
No,
I might have
I thought
I
ours was
Sturt desert pea.
yeah, and the squawker bird,
Yeah, wait on, I'll just find.
the small magpie. That's what we have on our number plate, anyway.
Yeah, Sturt's desert pea is they're a nice looking plant too.
Yeah.
I think the Waratah is Western Australia. No, red and green kangaroo paw. All right, let's check out New South Wales.
Bloody Aussies don't even know they're right.
Oh, we got too many of them. That's a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Waratah is the state flower of New South Wales. That's right.
And you guys are the garden state, aren't you?
No, I think. Oh, we're the Garden State. Yes,
Yeah.
but I think our flower is the golden wattle.
Oh, whatever.
No, common heath.
Yeah. Oh. Oh. Quite weird seeing you still here, to be honest. Hey, where'd
Sorry.
Bob go? Where'd Bob go?
Oh shit! I don't know.
He nicked off.
Yeah.
I was about to say it's unusual to see you here at this time. I know you're having a late lunch, but it's still unusual.
Yeah. Well,
And then he's disappeared on us.
I've probably upset the system now. You can't talk about me.
Yeah, no, that's why Bob's left, isn't it?
No, maybe.
Hmm.
I had a
Right.
funny feeling. I had a funny feeling one of the kids had a request or something.
Yeah. A request to use all the internet.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is the other next one I'm working on.
Oh yeah.
Just a, I think it's spalted peppercorn.
Yeah.
It's hard to see in this light. You know. I'm going to knock it on the head in about 10 or 15 minutes, I think.
Well, it must be your lunchtime anyway.
Yeah, Amber came out just then and asked if I wanted lunch. So. Takes about 10 minutes to cook. Yeah, I really like that. The plastic bag holder today, that was pretty cool, wasn't it?
Yeah, man. That's something you should make a heap of.
Yeah. Yeah, I never seen them before.
They're quick and easy, and you get
Yep.
rid of scrap wood.
Yep. Might be a good money spinner.
Yeah. You've got to have one though with a bag on it, so as people can see what they are.
Yes.
But they're great for string bags or anything like that as well.
We still have plastic bags here, but it's a different type of plastic to the white bags.
Yeah. Yeah, biodegradable now.
Yeah. They've got the same annoying handles on them as basically the twine ones once they get too much weight in them.
I missed it. What does it look like? Oh, a bag handle.
Oh,
I did it for a demo at the Detroit Woodworkers this morning.
there'll actually be a video of that on YouTube in a couple of days, Chris.
Yeah.
If you go and subscribe to the Detroit Woodworkers.
I'll just go and get them.
Yep. Yeah, Chris, if you go and subscribe to their YouTube channel and hit the bell, you'll get a notification when it gets put up. It's really got some nice greens that popped out in this one.
Chris, that's what it looks like. About 5 inches long. And what happens is you've got a plastic bag. I'll just use the edge of a mask. You hook the handles over there, and it stops them from tearing your hands off. Much more user-friendly than the bag handles themselves.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah, I'd hate to think how many of them I've sold over the years. In full colour.
Yeah.
And a lot of artists, like we used to supply a lot of folk art painters or tall art painters, and they used to paint them, decorate them.
So I emailed an art gallery in town that does all artsy fartsy kind of stuff, and I looked at their gallery online, and they've got nothing in there that's woodwork. So I've emailed them to see if I can maybe sell some stuff in there or put it on show or something.
Yeah, why not? You never know until you give it a go.
Yep, that's right. There's a couple of markets that are on in October. I've applied to.
Well, it's starting to get to the market season now.
Yeah. I was quite surprised. All the regular markets around here have all started back up again.
Yeah, just bear in mind that sometimes it takes going to the same market 3 or 4 times before you sell anything.
Yeah. I expect to not sell much on the first couple of times because no one knows me, that's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, someone pointed that out the other day. A bowl that I think's worth $80 or $90, I most should be only get 30 or 40 for it because no one knows me to that, you know. Or maybe not even 30 or 40, to be honest.
But don't underprice yourself.
Like I'm going to do at the boot sale.
Sorry?
Like I'm going to do at the boot sale.
Hmm.
I'm not taking. Sorry, what?
It's very hard to raise prices if you've started off cheap. It's
Yeah.
always easy to offer people a discount.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't expect someone at a car boot sale to have $80 to spend on a bowl. That's all.
Well, that's true, but you never know.
Yeah. Yeah, Chris, I agree. I've only been doing it for a year, so like a drop in the bloody ocean compared to some people, you know.
I'm not known by the public. I'm known by a lot of wood turners, but
Just try and get so no shine or too much shine.
yeah, that one looks good. Nicely balanced.
I got this one here. No idea what the wood is, but
I'll ignore that comment.
what was it about? Carbites and pens?
The latter.
Yeah. All right. Well, I've had the knock on the window, so I'm going to knock it on the head for today.
All right. See you later, Jay.
Thank you very much for coming in.
It's all right. See you, Chris. See you, Mike, Effie, Dan, and any tree people that are out there.
Yeah. Thanks very much for coming in. Take it easy. Don't forget to hit the like button. Bye.